When was the last time you were fully present when spending time with someone? The last time when you had a date or a dinner with your partner or a friend and you were fully there with them, seeing the sparkle in their eyes, reading their facial expressions, feeling their energy, and genuinely listening to what they were sharing with you. Being present used to be easier when life was simpler in the old days, but it has now become a luxury for many of us. What if I told you that simply living in the moment is the one thing we can do to make yourself happier according to science? This video is divided into 4 parts. I want to share with you why it is so hard for us to be present, the reasons why not living in the moment makes us unhappy based on scientific research, the benefits that being present can bring, and the steps that you can take so you can live a happier life starting today. Why is it hard to be present? Scientific research done by psychologists Matt Killingsworth and Daniel T. Gilbert at Harvard University found that we spend almost 47% of our waking hours in useless thoughts, using an enormous amount of energy without productive results, doing things that often do not contribute towards our well-being. And in that 47% of our time, we're simply thinking about something other than what we're doing. In other words, we are not in the moment. But what exactly makes it so hard to simply be present? Humans have the unique ability to focus on things that are not happening right now, which allows us to reflect on the past and learn from it, and to anticipate and plan for the future. This stems from our human instincts to optimize our chance for survival. However, remembering past experiences often brings feelings of guilt, resentment, depression, or even frustration. And planning the future, on the other hand, produces stress, fear, and anxiety. These are also the reasons why most of us keep a base level of these negative emotions humming in the background. We may not even realize it, but it has become the new norm. The tendency for us to dwell in the past and worry about the future causes us to lose touch with ourselves and our environment, which leads to unhappiness. A wandering mind is an unhappy mind. The ability to think about what is not happening is a cognitive achievement that comes at an emotional cost. According to this Harvard research study, what made people happy had far less to do with what they were actually doing, and significantly more to do with whether their attention was fully present in the moment. People who focused on living in the moment were significantly happier than those whose minds wandered away from what they were actually working on. In other words, when you drift away from the present moment, you become unhappy. These research study results were eye-opening, and if we need to become more aware of ourselves to live a happier and more satisfying life, we must think about how our minds work. Going back to the point where most of us live with some level of fear and worry in the background, these fears often do not correspond to a real danger that we face in the present moment, but to scenarios that we imagine would happen in the future based on past experiences. For example, you might have ended a relationship because your other half cheated on you. You have developed this fear, and so you constantly worry that your next partner will also do the same. What is happening in this situation is showing you that fear can manifest themselves either physically or as recurrent thoughts and intense emotions. When these automatic and repetitive thoughts are activated, you lose your sense of empowerment. You start to doubt yourself, and you lose a huge amount of your energy worrying over something imaginary. All these block your ability to respond to reality, to enjoy the good things, and appreciate the beautiful moments that are unfolding right in front of you. We must understand the importance to focus our attention in the present, because we can only change what is happening right now. The benefits of being present. Learning how to be fully present, also known as mindfulness, is a Buddhist concept that refers to intentionally paying attention to the here and now, and accepting reality as it is without escaping from it or making judgments. Research shows that when we engage in present moment awareness, we enable our bodies to relax and restore balance. So we experience reduced stress levels, improved immune function, and even enhanced cognitive abilities due to the activation of our parasympathetic nervous system. This system is a network of nerves that relaxes your body after periods of stress. Being present also enables us to experience deeper connections with others, increased gratitude, and heightened feelings feelings of joy, which is when we can fully appreciate the beauty and richness of life. Living in the moment also boosts our creativity and problem-solving skills because it frees us from thinking about the past and the future, which in turn makes space for us to open up a world of possibilities and new perspectives. How to be present. There are two paths to learn to become mindful and live in the moment. The first one is reactive and the other one is proactive. I have experienced both. The reactive path that makes you start living in the moment is usually after a major life transition. For most people, it is often an unpleasant life event, such as the loss of a loved one or an important relationship, experiencing a major accident, or getting a life-threatening illness. These dramatic events force you to suddenly realize that the most important things you value in life are actually all the little moments with the few most important people. I like to think of it as lost and found, because sometimes you don't know how important something or someone is until you have experienced loss. When you begin to understand the fragility of life and the limited time that we have on this planet, you will suddenly have the desire to create and appreciate beautiful moments. And that is the powerful moment when we shift our mindsets and become more present. When we start to notice how much our parents have aged, how fast our kids are growing up and that they're no longer toddlers, and we start to see our partner's first wrinkle or the hair starting to have a few more silver strands. For me, my reactive path was miraculously surviving a few terrifying life-changing events, but the silver lining was that those events not only made me stronger, but that they also opened my eyes. They made me appreciate so much more the things that I used to take for granted, such as simply being alive, being safe and not being scared, having the chance to see my kids growing up, and all the little moments. And it is exactly because I've been through these experiences that I don't want you to have to wait. So that's why I decided to make this video. And this is my proactive path to choose to live in the moment while I can, and to share my experiences and to help others. And this is also your proactive path too, for choosing to watch this video to inspire yourself to take action and live in the moment sooner, so you can experience more happiness in your life sooner. And in addition to my hope of you watching this and taking something positive away from this video, I also hope that once you learn to be more present, you could share your journey and inspire others around you as well, so that together our world can be in a better place than when we found it. Let's dive into the steps that you can practice to be more present. Decrease your options. Happiness is about subtraction, not addition. So start by eliminating who you are not and find clarity. Know what are the most important things to you and who are the most important people in your life. If you don't know how to begin, I would suggest you start this process by having the end in mind. It may sound morbid, but it is a common strategy and it is highly effective. One of my favorite books, Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom, reinforces this idea. Imagine you only have a month to live. What would you do and who would you spend your time with? How would you behave and what would you say? This exercise helps you cut out the unimportant things, and after you trim the fat, that's when you can become more present in that smaller circle that you have to find for yourself. Because it makes it manageable with the limited time and energy that you have, it makes it special for you and the people in it, and it makes it easier for you to focus on the few things that truly matter and bring you joy. Undivided attention to loved ones. Give the most important people your undivided attention when you are with them. Give them your best self, not your leftover self. It doesn't have to be for hours every time, but at least in the morning when you spend time with them at breakfast. When they come home and they want to tell you what happened today, stop what you're doing and listen to them. And you might also want to talk to them always before they go to bed. On busy days, it might only add up to 20 minutes a day, but I can tell you that these are the special moments that you will never regret. I feel this very deeply because in my younger years, I was constantly working, so I was always racing against time, trying to pack a lifetime in every day. Only to find out years later that I wished I had spent more time with my loved ones. Slow down and the art of noticing. Elijah Goldstein, a clinical psychologist, once said that slowing down is an informal practice of awareness. I would suggest you start by simply walking slower so you can take the time to notice things around you. Do you notice why older people are usually more present? Because their bodies have slowed down, so they have more time to observe and see the beauty around them. So starting today, pay more attention to your daily routines. You will start seeing and appreciating the beauty that is all around you. And this ties in perfectly with my next point, gratitude. Gratitude is about paying attention to and being thankful for all the positive things and the beautiful moments. It can only happen when you are in the present moment first, right? So you can notice the good things. I was just walking the dog with my partner the other night along a beach, and we both noticed the sky had a lot more stars than usual. The moment was beautiful with the crisp air and the sound of the waves. We would have never gotten to appreciate and be thankful for that moment without first being present and taking the time to stop and look up at the night sky. So what I'm trying to say is try to discover at least one thing that you're grateful for every day. For me, I am grateful for having heating in my home today because it is so cold outside. What about you? Leave me a comment below and tell me what you're grateful for today. Learning single tasking. Returning to single tasking is particularly helpful when you're practicing how to live in the moment because it is easier for you to focus your attention on just one thing at a time rather than juggling multiple tasks, which makes it rather impossible to live in the moment. Research also shows that when you are fully focused on what is happening right in front of you, you can better remember details in the long term. Digital detox. Limit your screen time by setting time limits for certain apps or set a daily downtime for yourself, which is what I started doing. Even if it doesn't stop you from looking at your phone on some days, the action at least provides you with some information on how much time per day you're spending on them. Another trick is to create tech-free times during your day. I have 5 rules for myself. I do not look at my phone until I finish my morning routine every day. I also don't look at the phone when I walk the dog. I try to appreciate the environment around me and I play with my dog. I put my phone on do not disturb mode during the day when I'm engaged in deep work. No screens are allowed during family dinner time, and I always put my phone on do not disturb mode when I'm at the gym. By consciously disconnecting from technology, we create space for ourselves to practice the art of noticing. Immersive activities. Engage in activities that require mind immersion. Whether it is playing an instrument, painting, kickboxing, rock climbing, or going to a concert, this is also the reason why having hobbies and doing things that you enjoy are so important. They help you focus on what makes you happy and help you let go of distractions as you fully engage yourself in the present experience. My message to you with a quote: being present is the best gift that you can give to yourself and others. It is a lifelong journey, and each moment of presence adds up to create a more mindful life. I want to share with you this quote from Marianne Williamson. The present moment, if you think about it, is the only time there is. No matter what time it is always now.